Welcome to your latest deep dive. We've got quite the stack of sources here, curated for you by the Pythonist programmer. She's our go-to digital psychic and software consultant.
Yep, and these cover October 11th through the 20th, 2025.
And what she's flagged.
Ugh.
It really shows this fascinating tension, doesn't it?
It really does. It's like, on one hand, everything's converging towards this seamless, constant digital flow, total saturation.
But on the other,
Well, the systems holding things together, whether we're talking politics or even our own minds, they're being pushed hard to their breaking points, really.
so that's our mission today. We're navigating this collision course, looking at tech, consciousness, power,
Trying to figure out where our attention is actually going, who's building these new digital realities.
and maybe most importantly, what's happening to ideas like freedom and control in the middle of all this.
Right.
Okay, let's dive in. First up, this core idea the sources call the universal attractor. Everything is becoming television.
And that doesn't just mean big screens, does it?
No, not at all. It's about the stream, that relentless, nonstop flow of video content. Writer Raymond Williams called it flow way back.
It's fascinating how everything seems drawn to it. Things that started completely different text, images, even just audio, they're all kind of converging on this model.
The evidence is pretty stark. I mean, look at Meta's FTC file.
Come on, yeah.
Social media, it's basically just small screen TV now.
Oh.
Over 80% of time on Facebook, over 90% on Instagram, spent watching videos.
And mostly from creators users don't even know.
Exactly. It's staggering.
That stat, it's just a gut punch to the whole original idea of social networking, isn't it?
Completely. It says only, what, 7% of Instagram time is actual friend sharing?
Yeah. The rest is just this endless river of algorithmically chosen stuff. Design distraction.
And it's not just social platforms. Even podcasts are medium here.
Uh-huh. The video side is exploding.
Growing 20 times faster than audio only. And YouTube.
Well, YouTube's quietly become the #1 platform for podcasts. It's screamingly obvious, really. Podcasts are turning to television, too. We want to see it.
And then there's AI. Even the cutting-edge stuff seems to want in on this.
Yeah, the sources point to Meta's Vibes, OpenAI's Sora. They're essentially built to generate infinite video sequences.
Maximizing watching over creating.
Totally follows that 9 or 91 rule, you know?
Yeah.
90% consume, 9% engage lightly, 1% create. Even AI seems to want to be an endless TV channel.
So, okay, this constant too much flow, what's the fallout? What's the cultural cost here?
Well, it's pretty significant. It chips away at our ability to connect, to think deeply.
Like that bowling alone idea?
Exactly like that. The sources link it straight to rising solitude. We funnel our free time into passive watching instead of, actual community. Civic life just shrinks.
And it reinforces Neil Postman's warning, right? When everything's TV, we learn to think in quick cuts, in scenes.
Not paragraphs, not sustained arguments. It prizes spectacle, emotion over real attention.
Wow.
And the industry knows it. Netflix is literally making shows for casual viewing or half-watching.
They tell writers to make plots super obvious for people who are distracted.
That's what the sources say. The goal isn't deep engagement. It's just constant, low-effort flow. Keep the stream going, even if nobody's fully paying attention.
Okay, that sets up a really interesting contrast for our next topic. If Western platforms are all about maximizing this sheer volume of flow, how's the competition winning elsewhere?
Yeah, this is a great AI reality check moment coming out of China. It's about ByteDance's Dubao chatbot.
Dubao.
It's now the most popular AI app in China. Over 157 million monthly active users. It actually surpassed DeepSeek.
Wow.
And the lesson seems to be user-friendly design and smart distribution can absolutely beat raw advanced AI power. It's not always about having the biggest model.
And the name, Dubao, it translates to steamed bun with bean paste.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
It immediately signals something different, doesn't it? Not some cold utility name like ChatGPT, but something warm, approachable.
That's exactly it. That's core to its success. The design is deliberately personable.
Yeah, as a cartoon avatar.
A human-looking female cartoon avatar, yeah. Named and designed to feel like an intimate friend. It just has a warmer, more welcoming vibe.
Okay, but wait. The sources say it's like a second-gen AI platform and everything app, combining ChatGPT, Midjourney Sora, TikTok's features.
Right. Text, audio, video, images, agents, It bundles a lot.
Doesn't that make it more complex? How did they keep the barrier low if it does so much?
Yeah.
The sources mention grandmothers using it early on.
Well, that's the clever part. They focused heavily on clear visual cues and really deep integration. The interface is built for the mass market, making complex functions feel intuitive. Familiarity helps lower that cognitive load.
And the ByteDance connection. That must be huge for distribution, Duyan.
Absolutely crucial. It's deeply woven into Douyin, which is the Chinese TikTok.
So users can tag Dubao within Douyin for some reason stuff.
Yeah, or view Douyin videos right inside Dubao. It's optimized for distribution. That means Dubao-generated content, often with watermarks, spreads everywhere. It becomes unavoidable, reinforcing its presence.
Okay, so we've seen battles for attention, for market share. Let's pivot now. From digital platforms to the platform of government, specifically the centralization of executive power.
Right, and this source dives deep into the role of OMB Director Russell Vought, portraying him as a key architect for a potential second Trump term agenda.
OMB, Office of Management and Budget. Remind us why that's so critical.
It's basically the nerve center. It reviews every single regulation, vets all executive orders, and controls the release of every dollar Congress approves. It's a massive choke point.
And Volt's approach, according to the sources.
Extremely expansive view of presidential power. He's aiming to centralize control, challenge what he calls the deep state, the cartel, or the regime.
And his ideology is described pretty clearly, a self-proclaimed Christian nationalist.
Yes, who reportedly sees Trump as a gift of God to defeat this established order, and his stated goal is to make career civil servants traumatically affected. To dismantle agencies pushing policies he opposes like DEI.
And the sources give examples of this. Administrative warfare, really.
They do. Gutting agencies seems key. He pushed to slash foreign aid, arguing things like anti-malaria programs don't make Americans safer, pushed spending as close to zero as possible.
And his reaction to potential consequences, like deaths from those cuts.
Described by one official as simply blasé.
Wow. Okay. And then there's this connection to the tech world, Elon Musk, and something called DOGE. Wait, like the Dogecoin meme. DOGE.
Yeah. Apparently that's the acronym Musk used. The Department of Government Efficiency.
Seriously.
Seems so. The sources say Vought guided DOGE, pointing them at sort of obscure quasi-government groups, using DOGE as a useful battering ram to bypass legal hurdles and shake things up.
And this helped them take over agencies.
It reportedly played a role in taking over the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the CFPB, firing over 80% of the staff there, achieving something they couldn't manage in the first term.
But maybe the most significant move was around government spending itself. Impoundment, rescission.
Yeah, these are obscure but powerful budget tools. Essentially, the administration just refused to spend money that Congress had already appropriated, froze it, or canceled it.
And the scale.
Over $410 billion, according to the source, impacting everything from NIH research grants to Head Start programs.
And the legality of that.
Well, legal experts quoted call it a complete disregard for the law. A direct challenge to the Impoundment Control Act of 1974, which is considered pretty fundamental.
And this connects to the government shutdown response, too.
Right. Vought became the public face of the response, threatening mass firings. Over 4,000 federal employees laid off so far, with predictions of potentially over 10,000.
And that text message cited trauma achieved.
Yeah, stark. The goal seems to be systemic disruption, creating trauma within the system itself.
So,
Okay.
okay, these huge external battles for our attention span, for market dominance, for political control, they inevitably push inward, right, to our internal lives.
Absolutely. Which brings us to our final sources, looking at our interior state. And let's start with something we all do, but barely understand. Sleep.
Yeah, if we know sleep deprivation is basically torture, what does it mean that modern life seems engineered to make us perpetually tired?
Sleep really is our biggest blind spot, as one source puts it. We have decades of research, but still no single unified theory for why we sleep. Beyond just simple restoration, it's often reduced to just utility.
I like the alien perspective the source suggested. Think about it.
Yeah.
At any moment, nearly 2 billion people are asleep.
Right. And maybe sleep isn't primarily for the individual's immediate needs. Maybe it's for the species, shaping ecosystems, minimizing competition, ensuring renewal, kind of like altruistic aging.
And from a neurocomplexity angle,
What's really fascinating is this idea of local sleep. It suggests we're never fully awake or fully asleep. Parts of our brain can actually go offline, be asleep, even while we seem awake.
which explains making mistakes when tired.
Exactly. But the core human takeaway the source highlights, it's about privacy. Sleep is the ultimate retreat. The chance to withdraw, be unavailable, be left alone.
And the modern world, with its constant light, its digital demands, it's kind of irreparably broken, that fundamental need for invisibility, for disconnection.
Precisely. And that struggle for privacy, for inwardness, it links directly to how we think about freedom itself.
Yeah, the other source really questions this modern idea that freedom just means infinite choice, picking from a menu.
It points out that this focus on choice is actually pretty recent, culturally speaking. I started around the 17th century, really, with consumerism buying textiles, books, and religious choice, freedom of conscience.
But now choice has become sort of value neutral. It's just about expressing personal preference,
Yeah.
not necessarily about doing what's right.
That's the modern problem identified. And this abundance of choice, it doesn't always lead to liberation. It can promote a kind of selfish individualism.
Be easily co-opted, right?
Yeah. The source uses the example of using slogans like, "My body, my choice," originally tied to reproductive rights to protest public health measures like masks or vaccines during the pandemic. It shows how choice can become purely self-serving, potentially hindering solutions to shared problems.
So we really need to ask, should maximizing individual choice always be the goal, especially when we face collective challenges?
Exactly. The sources remind us that freedom has meant other things historically. It's also meant release from oppression, or it's meant an act of pure imagination, of creation, not just selecting options A, B, or C.
So pulling it all together, what stands out is this collision, the relentless push for maximum flow and spectacle in our media.
And maximum control and centralization in government.
It seems to be happening directly at the expense of things like privacy, sustained attention, and just our basic well-being, whether that's defined by getting enough sleep or having a sense of genuine freedom.
That's right. I think what the Pythonist programmer really highlighted here is how vulnerable our systems are. Political systems, sure, but also our own neurological systems to these overwhelming forces.
Systems prioritizing constant flow, constant spectacle. They just inevitably erode our ability to focus, to protect that inner space.
Which leaves us with a final thought for you, the listener. If modern digital life pushes us to be always on, constantly choosing from this infinite menu, and if we know deep down that sleep represents this fundamental need for privacy, for disconnection,
Then what practical steps can you actually take? How can you reclaim some capacity for sustained attention, for genuine inwardness, in a world that seems almost designed to eliminate it?